I've got another 4-wheel combination padlock here. It says the size is 47 times 80 millimeters. It's zinc alloy body with steel shackle. Okay, this has been set to a random combination. One thing I noticed when I gave it to my wife to set, this thing here popped off and it's like, okay, it's not really needed, is it? Well, I'll leave it on. Okay, so I'm going to tension the shackle. I'm going to start turning numbers. Okay, I'm getting feedback from these two wheels, not so much from these two wheels. Okay, so I might tension from this side. Okay, let me turn and see what I can feel. It sort of lurches into 3. Doesn't really want to stay in 3, but it sort of suddenly becomes easier to turn. I'll leave it there for now, down to this one. Sort of easier to turn, maybe at this one. Oh, and now this one is starting to bind quite hard. Okay, so it must be one of these locks where if you get the previous wheel right, or the binding wheel at least, then it will start binding one of the other wheels. And it might be even be one of those locks where you go and order, try every number to see which number makes this wheel hard to turn, and then you try every number on this wheel to see which number makes this wheel hard to turn, and so on until you get the lock open. But in this case I don't think I need to do that because it seems to lurch into certain numbers. Maybe 8 suddenly got easier to turn into 8. So now this wheel is really, it's harder to turn. Did that want to lurch into 3 just then? Or 5? I'm not sure. Or 8. Okay, so there's multiple numbers. There must be false gates. So I'm getting something on 8, 0, 3, 5. Okay, so I've come across locks like this before where there's 4 gates and 2 gates are close to each other, separated by 1 number, and then halfway around on the other side of the wheel, another 2 numbers separated by each other. So in this case it's 3 and 5 and 8 and 0. Okay, so 5 is quite loose and 3 is quite loose. 3 is looser than 5, I would say. Let me check 8 and 0. Well, 8 is very loose. 0 is quite loose. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. I think 8 might be the loosest. Let's go to this number. So we've got, so this one was 8 and 0, 1, 2, 3 and 5, 6, 7, 8 and 0. Okay, so that's how the sequence works. So we've got 8 here, Okay, with this one we've got 1, it'll be 1 and 3. Yep. And it'll be 6 and 8, won't it? Is that right? 6 and 8. Okay, I'm not sure which is the loosest though. At least I found the 4 gates, but I'm not sure which is the loosest. I might not be able to find out which is the loosest until I get some of the other ones done, like to get some of the binding ones done so that the teeth can move a little bit through the gates and start binding these other ones. So I might just have to settle on one of the numbers. So I said 6 and 8, didn't I? 6 and 8. Maybe 6 seems a bit loose, I don't know. 6 and 8, and what did I say? 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Okay, so I'll leave it on 6. It seems maybe the loosest. Okay, 4 doesn't seem very loose. Okay, so 7. So this will be 7 and 9. And it should be 2 and 4, right? 2, very loose. Yeah, that seemed obvious that 2 was the loosest. It's got the most up and down play. The others were quite, they moved and wanted to stay in the gate, but not as much play. This one has lots of play, seems the loosest, and wants to stay in that gate. Okay, so I'm confident that this number is 2. Okay, the next one. It doesn't seem loose. Okay, it's 3 and 5. So 5, 6, 7. It'll be 8 and 0. 8, and the lock's open. Okay, so I guessed well that the first 2 numbers seemed the loosest. I wasn't sure. 2 was quite obvious, and then the last will, yeah, just check the gates until the lock's open. Okay, so that was a fun lock. I wonder if once I had all the wheels in the gates, instead of me starting at this one and checking all the gates, I wonder if it would have been better to start at this side. If I started at this side, it may have been, since this was the original binding side, it might have been more obvious which ones were tight and loose, and I wouldn't have had to spend more time on these ones trying to scratch my head to figure out which ones were the loose ones. Okay, there was a very fun lock. Thanks.